Let's talk about two of the cast.
Sure.
Because you wanted Florence Pugh, who plays Amy, to be in the same weight class as Saoirse Ronan, who plays Joe.
Yeah.
How do you know if someone is in the same weight class?
I just, well, she sent in an audition tape, and I had seen her in her film Lady Macbeth, and she was pretty amazing in that, and I thought that I thought she might be exactly right, and then she sent in a tape, and it was just, I mean, really, the tape she sent in is very close to the performance she gives. She had it all. She knew what it should be, and so, you know, sometimes I think young actors arrive fully formed, and I think Florence is one of those actors who arrived fully formed for us. I think people compare her to Kate Winslet a lot, and I think the comparison is apt because I think when you first saw Kate Winslet on the screen in Heavenly Creatures, it was like she sprung fully formed from Zeus's head, and I think that's the same thing with Florence. And it's interesting because Saoirse has that same quality. From the time she was a young girl, she was just completely present and able on screen. And I think what's amazing is, you know, that sometimes that is doesn't expand into an adult talent necessarily because you don't know how much they have in control of what they're projecting on screen. But I think for both Florence and for Saoirse, they were in command of it. They have been in command of it this whole time. So I felt that they both had that kind of, I mean, they're both prodigies in a way.
I'm just a woman. And as a woman, there's no way for me to make my own money. Not enough to earn a living or to support my family. And if I had my own money, which I don't, that money would belong to my husband the moment we got married. And if we had children, they would be his, not mine. They would be his property. So don't sit there and tell me that marriage isn't an economic proposition, because it is. It may not be for you, but it most certainly is for me.
Amy only wanted to be a painter if she was great. It's great or nothing. Is that something you two can relate to?
I really relate to that sentence. I think always as a kid growing up and wanting to be an actor or a singer-songwriter, I knew that there was no middle ground, and I wanted to work as hard as I could, and even if I was working as hard as I could and it wasn't as good as it needed to be, then that was going to be a serious conversation that I needed to have in my head.
It runs my whole life.
Yeah.
In every aspect of my life, which I don't think is always a good thing. I think professionally it's great, but I think if you're the type of person that's like, I have to be perfect at everything, it can really it can cripple you a bit. So I do think you need to, I'm trying to chill out with that a bit more.
But when did you two know you were going to be great? There must be some point that you...
I didn't know that I was going to be great.
But you are, so...
Thank you, that's very kind of you.
Both of you are. At some point you must have the confidence that you are.
I think it's just being competitive.
Know if you're going to be great.
No, I think I knew that it meant so much to me that the idea of people not appreciating it would be so heartbreaking. And if that were the case, then it wasn't for me. I don't think I knew that it was going to happen. I certainly didn't know that a career was going to happen from it. But I think like anything that you enjoy doing, of course you want it to be liked.
But I also, I still don't think I necessarily have that solid thought of I am great. I think what I've just started to feel over the last while is oh, I have this instrument now. I started when I was young, and it is completely sort of instinctive and instinctual, but I think as you do it more and more, like anything, you're oh, I can do this thing, and maybe I can push this here. And it is kind of like having an instrument that you can stretch and you can retune and you can push it a little bit. And when you figure that out and figure out the technical side of it while still holding on to that instinct that hopefully you have, it's very exciting, actually.
I just feel like women, they have minds and they have souls as well as just hearts. and they've got ambition, and they've got talent, as well as just beauty. And I'm so sick of people saying that love is just all a woman is fit for. I'm so sick of it. But I'm so lonely.
What should the little Joes and the little Amys of today take away from this film, do you
Little
think?
Joes and little Amy.
It sounds good, right?
It does sound good.
I think one thing that Greta has brought to this for the Amys of the world is that you're allowed to be ambitious. And I don't think Amy has really been ambitious in the past. I think she's just the girl that ended up with the guy. And I think, you know, she's someone that has incredible drive. And I think that she's, looking at her from my perspective, she's also incredibly brave. So I think in this day and age, to the little Amys, I don't think there's a need to stop. I don't think there's a need to lay down your craft to marry because it's an economical proposition. I think there's obviously more opportunity now for little Amy. So I guess my words of advice is carry on.
Keep painting.
Keep going.